Hello everybody, my name is Heather and today I am telling you about all of the books that I read in the month of March. I read 4 books total, and for me that's really good because I don't have a whole lot of time to read. It's pretty busy around here in the spring with all of extracurriculars and everything, so 4 books a week is good. The first book that I read was a murder mystery book called One of Us is Lying. It is set in high school, and you have these students who are in detention, and one of them ends up dying. And then the rest of the book, you have to figure out which one of those people was the murderer. The book to me was a solid 3 stars. There were some things in it that I didn't really care for, and I will go over that in a more in-depth review, but there's some things in it that I just really didn't care for. Plus it was honestly very predictable. I guessed who the murderer was pretty early on in the book, and to me it was predictable, and with some of the elements in it that I didn't care for, especially with it being a young adult book, 3 stars is the best that I can give it. The second book I read was an Agatha Christie book, and I have been reading a little more Agatha Christie here over the past couple years. I read my first Agatha Christie book in high school, and that was And Then There Were None. I don't really remember liking it in high school, but I was more into romance and angsty stuff in high school than murder mystery. And now that I'm older, and I actually, that is one of my favorite genres, is murder mystery. So I read The Mysterious Affair at Styles, and to me, I enjoyed it. You have this group of people that are related or connected in some way that come to a house that is owned by a lady, and this lady ends up dying. It's kind of like Clue, and you have to figure out who murdered the lady. And I thought I had it figured out pretty early on, but boy, was I wrong. There were quite a few many twists and turns, and Agatha Christie has a brilliant mind because I enjoyed it. I did not guess the person, although I was pretty close. But I was still wrong. The third book that I read, oh wait, I forgot to rate it. For Agatha Christie, The Mysterious Affair at Styles, I give it a solid 4 stars. I enjoyed it. It was a very quick read. Yeah, I would say it's 4 stars. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I would recommend it too. The third book that I read was The Keeper of the Lost Cities, and this is probably my favorite of the 4 that I read during this month. It was so sweet and wholesome, and it made me cry. And oh goodness, you have this girl named Sophie who can hear people's thoughts and read people's minds, and she is a complete outcast. She is a 12-year-old girl in high school. I believe she's a senior. I can't remember. And then on a field trip, she meets a young boy around her age that can also read minds. And from there, her whole life is turned upside down, and things change so quickly. You have her losing people she loves, and I mean, it's so sweet. You have finding friends and finding a family and a place of her own, and being accepted and not feeling like an outcast anymore. And I was in tears at one point. I loved this book. I would give this one a solid Oh goodness. For a middle grade book, I really think that this is 5 stars. I liked it. I enjoyed it so much, and it made me cry, and not a lot of books make me cry like that, but I did in this one. Absolutely. And it was so sweet. It was so sweet. The 4th book I read, I also enjoyed a whole lot. It was recommended to me by my son. It is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. You follow Percy along as he finds out who he is and who his father is, and the adventure that he goes on as well. I enjoyed it because Percy, he reminded me so much of my son. He is so witty and sarcastic, and my son is that way as well, and I can see why he enjoyed this book so much. He probably saw himself in Percy because I see him in Percy. It's a very exciting book, and I enjoyed the adventure that he went on, and I enjoyed the relationship between Percy and his mom. It was a very sweet relationship. I would give this book a 4 star, 4.5. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good middle grade book. But those are the 4 books that I read. I did not get to Ember Falls, and we have not finished the Wing Feather, the first book in the Wing Feather, On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness. We are getting through it a little. We're going a little slower than what I would like, but we'll get through it. Hopefully soon we'll finish it. But I didn't get to Ember Falls because I ran out of time. There's just so much going on, and April's going to be even more busy. So I'm probably going to keep my April list pretty short, and if I happen to read more than what's on my list, then I read more than what's on my list. But April's going to be pretty crazy. I have something going on every single day. It's recital month, it's baseball games, it's going to be crazy in April. So I will see what exactly is going to happen, and hopefully I can get these books reviewed pretty quickly and out, because honestly, this was the best month that I've had so far. January was kind of meh. I only had 1 book that I liked. February drug by, and I did not want to read at all. But this month, I enjoyed most of the books that I read, and I am so glad. And I'm so glad that I found Keeper of the Lost Cities. I just gave it to my son to read, so hopefully he will enjoy it as well, and I'll see once he finishes how he likes it. But that's all I have for today. If any of you have read these books, let me know in the comments and how you liked them, or if you didn't like them, and then we can talk about it, what you didn't like, because that's okay too. Sometimes it's not our cup of tea, and that's okay. So leave me some comments. Let's discuss these books. Let me know what you read in March, and I will let you guys know when I'm going to be reading for April soon. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!